side of Toronto so that we can see how they compare. So welcome, over to you guys. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you so much, Katie. And I really love the presentations that we've heard. What we're doing, what I've been doing all my life is focused on growing food year round. So, it's kind of a Nordic thing, right? It's a Canadian thing. Well, we have a long winter, so can we use a more efficient greenhouse? And that's what I put my life into, is inventing greenhouse technology that's a low energy. And so I did my research on this in the 80s, early 90s. I did some large-scale implementations in Canada and the US. And then I went over to England in 2000, and we did more development. And the last place where I've really done my work is in Norway. And so now we have quite a bit of northern communities. We have Norway, Iceland, and projects in Canada. And one of them, which is being considered for my technology, is in Owen Sound, which is, a bit further north than Toronto, not that much, but, and also Aubrey, my collaborator and partner, is in British Columbia.
Yeah.
And Aubrey, you're here too, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So, I'll kick it off maybe, and then Aubrey can follow up with more like the practical things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we want to equip people to garden in their backyard and in the schoolyard and in the community, the farms, year round. And so, as I say, it comes down to a year-round climate-controlled environment. And within the environment, we want to grow organically. So it's very important to know that, we appreciate the soil health, we appreciate the same issues, we want to work with nature, we want to work with natural sunlight, okay? So a lot of times you'll see some of these, food factories, you see them sometimes getting attention, and they want to grow plants with lamps, right? Instead of, in the dark with lamps. Well, I don't think that's a very good idea, really. I think we need to grow our food with natural sunlight. So, but to do that, you have to not have the heating and cooling cost, right? Because when we grow indoors, even with sunlight, it takes a lot of energy. And that's why, we have the issues about how do you operate a greenhouse and over the winter season, and can we afford to grow food this way? Because of the heating cost in Canada, and then in many places in the world, cooling cost, because these environments overheat as well. So anyway, let me show the video for the concept for a village, and my technology is called SolaRoof. So when you see the SolaRoof village is a conceptual for a village. Here we go.
SolaRoof Village, a vision for ecological living. An open source gift to the world for a massively transformative purpose: to fix the climate with no family left behind. Healing people with good, local, secure food. Healing the planet by building a new relationship with nature. Let's imagine what this would look like. Food that is local, fresh, regenerative, organic, and abundant. Takes water collected, then conserves and reuses it as irrigation water, feeding regenerative food production. Solar energy and biogas converted for carbon-free heating, cooling, transportation, food, and water production. Bio-oil from algae for transportation fuel and seasonal energy storage. The SolaRoof building is an effective climate change adaptation that is secure and sustainable. Residents are secure within a clean, closed atmosphere environment and protected from smoke, smog, pollution, wildfires, drought, chemical, and biological threats. People are secure from extreme heat and cold, and our construction system safeguards the impact from hurricanes, earthquakes, and violent weather. CO2 mitigation is accomplished through sequestering of carbon in vegetables and fruit grown in a high concentrate environment. Regenerative practices and efficiencies further reduce CO2 across the food, water, energy, and building operations sectors. These methodologies, if universally adopted, would cumulatively allow these SolaRoof villages to mitigate global warming. The Earthshot not only cares for humanity, but also assures the recovery of planetary ecosystems and biodiversity by consolidating the human footprint to a small area, allowing the land to regenerate. SolaRoof is a new ecological architecture providing optimal human habitation and allowing the restoration of the land biome with no family left behind.
Okay, thank you. So, of course, this is a community scale project, and the group that's considering this is in Owen Sound called Glassworks Co-op, glassworks.coop for their website. And, well, they have a large number of people, I would say maybe most of them in Owen Sound, but a lot of them also in Toronto and other parts of Ontario, and some people outside of Ontario, I would say as well, who have joined that effort. But we're also very interested to bring the technology to the backyard, which would be quite small scale use. And maybe, well, Aubrey, maybe you could jump in and
yeah, okay.
We can. You know, maybe we start with that video about
yes.
bubble.
Yeah, bubble fun.
This is showing the technology, what we call bubble tech, and soap suds are used for insulating.
Solar energy is quite different than the typical approach. It involves treating the greenhouse itself as a collector. So what we want to do is let the sunlight in and then capture this energy and then conserve it inside the greenhouse. So what we've done is we've created the entire roof as an active collector. The system of generating a blanket of insulating bubbles, that's quite original.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this one shows the smallest greenhouse we designed. Yeah, just the idea is to be able to grow your own food in the backyard. I started that way. I got my hand injured while I worked for a solar company, but then I thought about what I should do to grow my own food, right? At that time it was winter time, so I started aquaponics. I use a corner of the house, I mean inside, right, because it was winter. And then I started do aquaponics. I know aquaponics works. And then how do I do in winter time, right? So that's why I explored the greenhouse, and that's how I got connected to Richard Nelson, and he had this invention, more than 40 years ago, 48 years ago. So, and I find out, oh, it's a such a wonderful thing, just use bubbles. Okay, so that video explained the bubbles, right? The fun part, but also the how you can use bubbles, to create the shade during the summertime, but also to create the insulation you need, right? The bubbles can fix the air in the little tiny bubbles, right? So that it stop the heat loss, right? So basically, the idea is to have to build a greenhouse that is double layer, right? And then fill the double layer cavity with soap bubbles. So the winter time, during the day it collects solar thermal energy, but also during the night you insulate the whole canopy, so to store the collected solar energy. So that's the idea, and then we can prove that the sun is enough. It's just enough. You can collect the solar thermal energy and to be used during the night. So that's the idea, and so we design a full line of products, starting from small, that for those who want to start their food growing from their backyard, or even bigger ones, for community, right? We have one design. It's called City Pot, to be able to even grow food for the whole city. The flat roof design, but anyway, when it all bear the same principle, using the same principle, that is double layer cavity, and that is fully open to the sun, but at the same time insulate when you need it. I mean producing bubbles, right? And also create shading when you in the hot summertime, you don't want your food to be burned, right, by too much sun, right? So anyway, so the idea is to use solar thermal energy, and collect it and to store it, and so that even at nighttime, it stay relatively warm. So the traditional greenhouse, the problem is always like this: whenever you build something like that, and it's hot in the summertime and cold in winter, right? So what we do is to simply reverse it, make it cool during the summertime, and make it warm during the winter time. So that's the magic about bubbles. Yeah. Any questions? I heard someone trying to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I'm back.
Okay.
Thought I lost.
Yeah.
I'm able to stay a little bit longer, actually.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's good.
I was checking with the other video conference. And,
That's great. Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks, Richard, and thank you always for sharing. That's very interesting and inspiring work to see all the different ways that you can grow food, especially for most of us who are in the city and maybe when you start doing something. That's great.